Have you ever gotten like a text message where it's like, are you mad at me? What is going on here?
Yep.
So difficult to read emotions and vibe energy through a single text, and that's why there's some kind of miscommunication or gaps in the DM sometimes. So if you're sending voice message, you could show your excitement, you could show your seriousness, however you want to share you're trying to communicate. Voice messages are amazing.
Vicky is joining us to discuss the major topic today of how to slide into the DMs and turn leads into customers. So thank you very much once again for joining us, Vicky.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I've asked Vicky to help me do this with 3 steps that she has, but I want you to also be aware I have a bonus one that I do myself almost daily. Some of you guys might even be aware of it. I'm actually going to reveal that secret after she explains some of her best 3 techniques on how to turn leads into customers.
Yes, so my number 1 tip is finding a common ground. One of the main umbrella common ground is you're both business owners. So, you know, having that fear of talking about business doesn't have to be there because you're both business owners and that's a common ground. Depending on whoever your ideal clients are, whatever services you offer, being entrepreneurs, one of the most amazing common ground aspects I like to use is coffee. I'm a caffeine addict. This actually comes up in so many conversations about what is your Starbucks order, or like, you know, how many coffees are you in today? But it's really important to really have an icebreaker there, whether it's like traveling. It doesn't always have to be business related, but it helps again for you to connect with your ideal client, your potential client, with, you know, having them feel more comfortable and honest with you in the DMs, right? So common ground is really,
I like that.
well, yeah. You know, there's a difference between talking and, you know, just being really yourself and how you're speaking about, how you're conversating about certain common grounds. Of course, everyone's common ground is going to be different. There's a difference between that and how's your business going, right? Or how's your business going? And then going good. And then it's just the end of the conversation. So yeah. Finding common ground, but also asking questions and leaving it open-ended for them to kind of carry the conversation as well and make it about them, right?
Yeah, I like that. Make it about them. Very key note. I love that.
Yes, because, you know, you have your ideal clients, and if you're both service-based, you know, one could try to pitch at the other, and we also see that pretty often as well, and I've experienced that, and I know my clients have, is where it's like, I'm trying to pitch at them, but I can feel that they're trying to pitch at me. It's like the Uno reversed, right? So it's kind of like, who's going to establish like the authority within this conversation?
As Vicky suggested, the first step, which is a common ground, because that leads to communication, you know, a back and forth is what you want. I'm curious, what would be your second major tip in regards to trying to convert them?
Yeah, so my second tip is, again, I see this comment right now, also human behind this Instagram account, right? So leading into that, it's really important to really show that you are a human being. And one of the things that I really like to utilize as a tool on Instagram, sending voice messages, asking like permission, like, oh, I have so much to say. I hope you don't mind. I'm going to shoot you a voice message. It really shows and conveys like the energy and the emotions about, you know, how you're speaking about whatever you're talking about, right? Let's say you're talking about they ask you about your new offer or something like that, and you're sending a voice message because it's just so much to digest basically. But it shows how excited you are and confident you are about your offer and what it's going to do for your ideal clients. Have you ever gotten like a text message where it's like, are you mad at me? Or something like that? It's like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
So difficult to read emotions and vibe energy through a single text, and that's why there's some kind of miscommunication or gaps in the DM sometimes. So if you're sending voice message, you could show your excitement, you could show your seriousness, however you want to share you're trying to communicate. Voice messages are amazing. Also, I like to send like photos sometimes. So the other day I actually shared, I miss like the format of the old polls sometimes.
Oh yeah, I miss those too. Yeah.
because
I do. Bring them back, Instagram. Bring them back.
sometimes we'll have a lot of text on top, and then it's just like a square, so it's kind of off proportionate. And I was sharing that, and someone was like, I forget what it looked like before, right? So I drew them a little picture, and then they were like, oh my god, this is great. It just creates a genuine connection. It shows that you're going your way to actually drawing it out or something like that. It shows that you're putting the time into the conversation and energy into the conversation.
I've had people that I've practiced that myself in regards to the voice messages a few times. With those that I've already built relationships with, I wouldn't just send a voicemail out to somebody I just met, the cold lead. I wouldn't do that. I would prefer to send them out to maybe a warm lead or a hot lead, but they feel a little bit more personalized, and the person receiving it likes it. And then I feel that same way too when they respond back as well. You know, love it. I'm curious, what is your last one?
Yeah, so the third tip that I have is to set the intentions in the DMs, right? A lot of times, and this is kind of touching more on mindset of things. You know, we're about to go into conversations with your ideal clients, and you're thinking, do you know what? What if they hate me, right? What if they find I'm annoying, or you know, so many like imposter syndrome thoughts that we're telling ourselves, or land this client today, right? So your intentions are off because you're already going to the conversation of, how am I gonna abort mission right now, right? Or how am I gonna end this, right? So you're going to the conversation of thinking about ending the conversation before you even start it. So
wrong mindset.
Right. So mindset's so important because it's key. It's the foundation to before like doing anything, right? Before you clean your room or your place, it's like I'm excited. I'm gonna watch some videos, whatever. Like you have a mindset towards how you're going to do it, right? Or it's like everything is a mess. I hate this. Like I can't believe I bad. Like it's your mindset towards whatever task or whatever thing you are doing. Right?
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
With intentions, like I really like to recommend to, instead of making it such a big goal as I'm gonna land a client after one conversation with them, I want you to break it down and have little steps towards that goal, right? We're not gonna leave the gym with a six-pack the first time we go. Time, right? So it's so important to kind of go into the conversation of like, do you know what? I am really interested to see like why they decided to start their business, or where their energy is at within their business right now, right? Replying back to their Instagram stories to spark a conversation is something that I really like, because essentially they left the door open for you to start a conversation anyways. So
yes.
And just be yourself. If your intention is like not to just pitch at them right away, you're not desperate in the conversation, they're gonna feel that you're not, right? And if they assume that you're gonna come off that way, then it's your intentions are already there in your mind, and just being really authentic to you.
I love it. Those are the 3 tips from Vicky, hitting you guys up with how she strategizes and suggests to you to turn your leads into customers and get that done by sliding into the DMs. Now, I said I was going to hit you guys off with a bonus, and I will in one more. I'm going to tell you guys a strategy that I use. My bonus strategy for you guys, and it kind of hits everything that Vicky was just stating in regards to common ground, be human, and set intentions. One of the ways that I do this almost daily, I use IG story polls. It's so simple, it's so easy. One of the benefits of using IG story polls is it helps boost your engagement in IG stories. But I don't think it stops there. What I do personally is I ask a question, and after a few hours later, I go back in that IG story, I go to the poll, and everybody who's answered, I DM them. Because what I just did was, I just turned cold leads into warmer leads, because they responded to a question that I posed to them, and we've already just opened up the opportunity for an engagement. So I'll give you guys an example. What I would do, just to kind of give you guys a quick example, I always use this question: which do you prefer, Apple or Android? There's only 2 options. So I made it very simple, and you would easily be able to respond in that poll. What you do at that point now, after a few hours, you go back and you engage with the people that respond. I ask a question: why did you choose Apple? Another way of what I do is I acknowledge their choice. I'll say, oh, that's interesting. I also like Apple. So that's something that we now can relate on. I also might take an opportunity to educate them. I might say something like, did you know that Apple just announced their iOS 16? Or I entertain them. And this is where you might get a little bit more creative. You could use the meme feature in the DMs and send them something that's relative to the conversation, or you can lead them with a joke. That's different ways that we can actually start engaging with people in the DMs by using IG story polls. It's such a very easy way of doing it. And I think a lot of people are missing that opportunity to use Instagram story polls in multiple ways.
I love that.
As I always say, take this information and step your gram up. Now that you know how to turn leads into customers in the DMs, it's time to take it to the next level. You know what to do. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be reminded of when I post the next time. Tap the video on the screen so you can learn how you could actually start making money on Instagram right now in just 4 easy steps.